Hello guys, it's Stephen here back with another video. It's been a painful week, a truly, genuinely painful week. I've been out all day, I'll be honest, and I've got back to the news that Sergio Aguero is officially joining Barcelona. Why? Why is the football world doing to this? I don't need this right now. Either way, today I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I want to say thank you, though, before on to One Football. If you like me and you want to follow Sergio's reign over in Barcelona, and I do genuinely wish him all the best. Hopefully there's loads of goals over there. Not too many, though, because I don't want to miss him too much. But what I will say is go download One Football, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all the statistical information, all the goals and the stats of Sergio over in Barcelona. And, of course, you'll get all the news first sent straight to your phone of his potential replacement at Manchester City in terms of the transfer news. So download One Football right now. It's absolutely free. It's a fantastic app. It's wonderful, I promise you. And you get all the Manchester City information sent to your phone, and it also helps support my channel. So it's a bonus for everyone involved, basically. Go and download One Football right now. But let's get into this. I mean, it's painful. It's genuinely painful. We all knew it was coming. We literally did know it was coming. I mean, but it is weird to see that Aguero's going to be lining up in another shirt. And what I will say immediately, if you want my genuine, more happy tribute to Sergio Aguero, I would say go and watch this video on screen right now. The vlog from his last game at Everton. Let's pretend the Champions League final never existed, because Sergio did not deserve that. And let's pretend actually that was his send-off. That was his tribute, and that is how we should remember him. And in my opinion, it's genuinely how we should remember him. Scoring a couple of goals, being celebrated by thousands of Manchester City fans in the stadium, and being an absolute legend that we all know he is. So go and watch that video. It's a better tribute than this could ever possibly be. But I still need to talk about a man that's genuinely left an indelible mark on us as Manchester City fans. Honestly, the way I see this club is there was pre-Sergio Aguero and then there was post-Sergio Aguero. Honestly, anything that he's done for this club, it cannot be repeated by anyone else, and I genuinely mean that. Maybe one day someone will score more goals for Manchester City than Sergio Aguero, I don't know. But the change that he made for this club, where he took us, man, no one can replace that emotional attachment that Sergio gave to Manchester City fans. An absolute legend of the game. Not just for Manchester City, genuinely a Premier League legend, an English footballing legend. There's not been many people like Aguero in English football, genuinely. This little Argentinian came over here and he changed the game. A clinical beast. The most statistically clinical striker in Premier League history. He scored 260 goals in 390 games, City winning 15 major trophies during his 10-year stay, including 5 Premier League titles. That's not bad, that really, is it, Sergio? A Premier League trophy every other year. And he has the best minutes to goals ratio in the competition's history in the Premier League. That's the best. He's the 4th on the list of all-time Premier League scorers. And of course, in his last ever Premier League game, he became the player to score the most goals for a single club in the Premier League. He's also the highest scoring overseas player in the Premier League history. And in January 2020, he overtook Alan Shearer to set the record for the most Premier League hat-tricks after registering his 12th away at Villa. What a man. All these stats are over on mancity.com. And I'm going to miss him. And I'm absolutely going to miss him. Now, some people will say this is too soon. I understand arguments either way. I'm drawn towards the fact that City have been so successful this season, mainly without Sergio, that maybe it is just kind of the time to go. It does make it hard to accept it, doesn't it, when you see him score 2 goals against Everton? You think, what if we gave him one more year? But what I will say is those injuries probably are going to follow him around a little bit now. Though I do hope we live to regret it a little bit, because I want him to do well at Barcelona, man. I don't want him to go over to sunny Barcelona and barely play at all. I want to see him alongside one of his best mates in football, Lionel Messi, and I want to see him score a few goals over there, because the rest of the world needs to know how good he is in the way that we did as well. But Sergio Aguero, honestly, what he's brought us to us, well, it's fantasy football stuff, isn't it? I never really thought football could be possible in the way that Sergio Aguero played it as a City fan. We saw some good strikers in our time. I've met a couple of them. I mean, I've sat next to John Goethe. He's nowhere near the level, but he was still an instinctive finisher. And we saw, obviously, Dzeko and your Balotellis, and before that, we had some cult heroes up front, like who scored a couple of important goals for us. But we had no one like Sergio Aguero in my lifetime at very least. And when he came in, wow, he came in. He absolutely changed the game. Obviously, that infamous debut against Swansea, a couple of goals, an assist and all that kind of stuff. It was explosive, it was bombastic, and it was beautiful, like Sergio himself. And after that, honestly, there's so many incredible goals. You'd sit there forever watching the variety of finishes. It wasn't just that infamous, and he made it a trademark of his, by the way, that near post finish. Henry had his placed finishes. Sergio Aguero had his rocket in the roof of the net finishes from a tight angle. Absolutely mesmeric stuff. But it wasn't just that. He'd score from insane angles from a distance. He'd blast it in from 25 yards. He'd dink the keeper. He'd round the keeper. He'd slot on one-on-ones perfectly. He'd score wonderful headers. Any kind of instinctive finish, Sergio Aguero would find a way to score it. He'd beat three people, then slightly lift it over the keeper. He'd make absolute world-class defenders look like mugs, because that's what Sergio Aguero did. You can picture goals against United, putting Phil Jones on his arse or the half volley. You can picture him banging a hat-trick against Chelsea or Arsenal or whatever. You can picture incredible goals against Liverpool. Particularly my favourite goal, probably Aguero's ever scored, obviously will be the 93-20 one. But for me, the goal against Liverpool when we won 2-1 at the Etihad in the 18-19 campaign, there was something about that. He probably scored better goals technically, but it was the sheer brutality of that goal and the meaning of that game. It was ferocious, but it was so Sergio Aguero. No one else could really do that. I maintain the only person who was scoring that goal in world football was Sergio Aguero, and that is why I love him. And why I love him more than that? Well, he was ours. He was our legend, our superstar, our poster boy, and he became a superstar at Manchester City. Don't get me wrong, he was already absolutely incredible over Atletico Madrid, but he became who he is, this household name, this absolute brutal, incredible, mesmeric, galactic over striker at Manchester City, a genuine legend, and I cannot wait to see that statue of him, David Silva, and Vincent Kompany. And of course, that's not even his biggest legacy. He has the most iconic moment possibly in English footballing history, definitely in the Premier League history, the 93-20 moment when it felt like all was over and all was dead. Gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Sergio Aguero stepped up with a moment of just Sergio brilliance. And from that moment onwards, Manchester City changed forever. The 93-20 moment, Balotelli, Aguero. Honestly, iconic. There's not a single football fan in the world that doesn't know that moment, and that is the power of Sergio Aguero. He changed our reputation around the world. He changed what football meant for me as a Manchester City fan. He changed everything about this club. That one moment, that right foot of his, it's funny, isn't it, how one player can genuinely change the course of a club's history, but that was Sergio Aguero for you, and he was very much a killer in front of goal. We know he had this ability, and he did it week in, week out. I always wonder what he might have accomplished goals-wise if he didn't have those little injuries that seem to plague him most seasons. He never quite played the amount of games he should have in a season, really, but he was still absolutely brilliant and still absolutely brutal. Even for a man who still took a few games to get back to fitness after injuries, he still scored a ton of goals. Sergio is the special kind of legend. He's the kind of legend that you cannot wait to tell your grandkids about one day. I ain't even got a son or a daughter or whatever, a kid, but I can't wait to tell them all about Sergio one day when they finally exist in this world. And I can't wait to then hopefully tell grandkids about it. Sergio Aguero changed English football. He was the most feared striker throughout his lifetime in the Premier League, easily. He scored against basically everyone. He terrified basically everyone. And the best thing about him, you couldn't really stop him. He'd shuttle past you. He'd win a header. He'd score a volley. He'd score from insane angles. Aguero, an absolute beast. And a genuinely beast. And I'll love him forever. Sergio, thank you so much. I would genuinely implore everyone to go and watch that vlog from the Everton game again. It's the best possible tribute Manchester City fans. I could give him as a Manchester City fan, sorry. And obviously you got to see the love and the adoration that Sergio has from his colleagues and the fans of Manchester City. A genuinely astonishing player. We knew he was going to join Barcelona. It's been obvious for absolutely ages, so this is not a surprise. But it definitely stings after the week that we've had. The Champions League final was horrible. Seeing Sergio stood there in tears, no one needed that. And I want that wiped out my memory. And I'll be honest, even seeing Sergio do his little medical at Barcelona, at least he was smiling again. And someone, that face does not deserve to be sad. It really doesn't. It still hurts, the Champions League final, by the way. It still hurts. But today I walked for miles and miles and miles around the Peak District, and that beautiful blue sky reminded me that things aren't too bad in the world of Manchester City after all. It's horrible that Sergio's going, and I also would like to say good luck to Eric Garcia as well, who's also joined Barcelona. But life will go on. Manchester City will find a way to keep winning. We will find a way to keep being absolutely awesome. We'll sign a big striker, and whoever's going to come in, I've got no doubts whatsoever that they'll score loads of goals. Will they be Sergio Aguero? Of course not. No one can be Sergio Aguero because he's right in here, and he did something something that no one could ever replace again. It's quite possible that football, as a Manchester City fan, for me personally, peaked on that 93-20 day, because that was years of hurt washed away by one man, genuinely, and obviously the whole team as well. But he changed football for me emotionally. There'll never be anything like that again, and that is down to Sergio Aguero. So someone can come in, but they can't be Sergio. But who can? Sergio, you're a fucking legend. I love you absolutely loads. And all the best at Barcelona. We knew you were leaving, but it doesn't make it any easier, man. It doesn't make it any easier. What a player. And I can't believe, honestly, that he was ours. An absolute legend of the game. An incredible player. Sergio, go have some fun with Messi, man. Go and have some fun with Messi. You deserve it, mate. You really, really deserve it. But don't have too much fun, because we don't want to miss you too much. Have a little bit of fun, but don't prove us too wrong, because I can't take that. I can't take it too much. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about this. Obviously, the Champions League is still painful, but, you know, it will go on. Life will go on. Go and unwind, go and wind down, and I'll be back with some more videos tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. It's been quiet, but I think we all need to take a little bit of time to reflect and wind down, and I'm glad I have personally. Get outside. It's gorgeous at the moment. It makes things like this a little bit easier. Not fully easier, but a little bit easier. You're all absolutely awesome. Thank you to my Patreon producers, William, Pritchard, Arun Jalsi, and Ahmed Alali, and thank you to all the names scrolling down the screen. Hit the subscribe button. Go and watch my Aguero vlog. Doesn't get any easier, but I'll see you soon.